Hello, friends. Oh, what is happening? I'm just looking at my. Alright, whatever. Okay. Usually I put out a video, or that's the plan, is I should be putting out videos on Wednesdays, but I did not feel like doing that yesterday, filming the video, and I also today did not feel like filming the video and then putting it out. So I thought that it would be nicer for us to just sit together and chat while playing my makeup because I do want to play in makeup. I've had this look in my mind. It's not fully fleshed out yet, but it's like I can see it. And I thought that while I'm fleshing it out, while I'm figuring it out, you would help me. We would also get this look out together. And I thought that would be a better use of my time than trying to force myself to do something I just don't really vibe with right now, you know? So I'm gonna grab some of my wares. We're gonna start with eyes because I always do, and I know I want glitter, blue glitter specifically. So let's get into that. Me trying to decide where to put everything on my desk. That'll work until I have to move it. Okay. I'm trying to make sure I have everything. No, wait. Okay. That should get us started. Let me let the internet know that we are live. Awesome. Ooh. Wait, why does my skin look so glowy and good? That's good. Live now. Awesome, awesome. I also think I want to do like a. We're definitely doing a cut crease today. Like, when I say we're doing full drag, well, let me not talk too much, but I do know the eyes at least. We're going for sure. Okay. Tag makeup on the stream. Come through. And then make sure that. Alright. Let's get into this. For my eyes today. Now my son having something to say. I need to prime my eye first because, like I said, I know that we are doing blue glitter. So before I put the glitter on, I definitely want to have a good base on. So like a blue eyeshadow. almost kind of Love Witch inspired, maybe. Okay. Now I'm gonna map out my eye because like I said, I know I want to kind of play around with my eye shape a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit. And it's just easier to do that if I draw it out first. So I am gonna take my handy dandy big Barbie mirror, and actually I'm gonna have it eye level. And figure out the shape from there. And this doesn't have to be perfect because all I'm doing is mapping this out. I'm just trying to figure out the shape that I want my eye to be. Like, I know I want this angled way up there. Actually, I think I'd rather this be a little, just kidding. I don't want that a little further out. But I do want this to have kind of more of a sweeping look. So we're gonna do that instead. That lid is in the way. And then holding everything at eye level. Figuring out my shape. I do quite like that shape. And then the inner eye area. Yeah, I like that eye shape. So now I'm just gonna do the dreaded activity of trying to do it on the other side. Which I know is a swoop swoop. I don't want a straight. My hair is very big, casting a lot of shadows. And then I'm gonna go down. Shape like that. Pretty similar to me. And now, this is specifically because I'm going in with a color that I really want to see the color of. I don't necessarily want to see the color of my skin with. I'm going to go in with this NYX Jumbo pencil, I think it is. I don't know. It's a NYX white eyeliner. And I'm going to shade in my lid with this. Just following the shape that I made earlier, which is also why I said it didn't have to be perfect. It just had to let you know where you were going. Like so. Haphazardly. It's fine. Do you want to make sure you're blending it in now because you don't want it to be too thick because that's just like caking product into that area, and then you're gonna end up with creasing and all of that, which is also not very cute. Double check my shape here. And like, even if this isn't perfect, I don't have my foundation on yet, so I can just clean everything up before I put foundation on. It's no big deal. I'm not too pressed about it. Yeah, that works so far. Okay. Now I'm doing my blue first before I do my crease shade because the crease shade is typically darker. And so I can make all the mistakes I want with my blue shade. And then when I want to clean it up, take the crease shade to do so. That's my little trick there. So I'm going to go in with this brush. No. I'm going to go in with maybe more. No, this brush is fine. Okay. And then pack that onto there because I want the color payoff for it. I mentioned that in my smoky eye video. You want color payoff? Pack, not pull. If you just want to put the color on there and you're okay with blending it and all of that, then you can pull it. But if you want the full color payoff, you gotta pack it on. Like that. It looks very vivid on camera. Okay. Second eye. Do you usually get a notification? And hey, do you usually? I didn't know that I know on Twitch they send out notifications. I did not know YouTube sent out notifications. Huh. That is news to me. Well, I wonder why then. I'll have to check my settings or whatever because I think the program I use to make sure that I'm streaming everywhere is also kind of like glitching and not working as well as it typically does. So that might be it. I don't know. Huh. Okay. I will look into that for sure then. Because I definitely, I mean, today I was like, I hope you come on. I knew I was playing in makeup, so I was like, hopefully you'll be here today. Um, but how are you doing? How's your Wednesday going so far? I should have grabbed a hair clip, and I did not do that. Yeah, I almost didn't post on my stories too because I was like, I posted the first story or whatever that was like, I'm thinking about coming on live or whatever. And then I was like, well, it took me 3 seconds later and then I'm on live. Do they really need like another notification for that? But then I was like, maybe I should make it very clear that I'm online right now. Maybe I should say something. But I almost didn't. I almost did not. So I'm glad I did. And I can only imagine. I can imagine that you're ready to clock out right now. That's kind of how I feel right now. And I'm not even working a 9 to 5. Like, I knew I was supposed to make a YouTube video. Yeah, like, honestly, like, the tutorials are so easy to make that I could either make them the day before or the day of and then still get them out on the right time. But I just could not, for the life of me, get myself to want to do it because I just wanted to play in makeup. And the thing about a tutorial is you can't really like play because I need to know what I'm going to teach. Like I need to know what the objectives are, which means I can't just like play. And today I just wanted to play in makeup. I didn't want to like have like a set look in mind and then have like a script. Like it was just a whole thing in my brain. So I was like, I'm just going to go live, which feels kind of lazy, but also, eh, eh. Did I just grab a color I don't think I want to use? I think I just did. I think I did. I know today, so I've had this image. Okay, I need to show you. I really want to use, I can pull it out. Here we go. I don't know if you'll be able to see in the jar. Girl, focus on the jar, not on me. There's this like really pretty mermaidy blue green glitter here, and I have been dreaming about it. I've been thinking about it, and I want to use it so bad. It's called Corpse Bride, and I've been wanting to use it, but I just haven't really found a reason to use it. So I said, you know what? Today I am going to use it. So the look today is all about that shade. It's all about that one. There's no other reason for me wanting to do this look except for the fact that I want to do that shade. And then I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my hair today, but I feel like it's been a while since I've worn an afro. And I do feel like a weird sense of like, all right, I gotta wear an afro today so that people remember like I do more than just wigs. I also wear an afro. Like I'm with everything. All right. I'm not just like a straight haired person. I know this is me overthinking it, but I'm like, I gotta show the versatility of it all. And so that's why I'm wearing the afro today. What do I need? I had thoughts. Oh, I need my color oops thing. I don't know if you have one of these, but one of the best things I ever found on Amazon was one of these like color brush removal things. Um, Whenever I pick up a color, or like honestly, I don't wash my brushes every single time I do my makeup. So if I ever just want to switch the color that's already on the brush, you just like, it's dry, okay? Not gonna wet your brush. You can just like rub it in here and then you can get a new color. You can pick up a new color. And I think it's so great. It's so nifty and so handy. And this came in like a pack of 2. But honestly, you could probably make it. It depends. It depends on how crafty you're feeling and how much more expensive it would be to make one. But it's literally just a sponge. So you could probably make it if you can get the right kind of material. But this is so nice. It's so nice. And like if one side ends up getting too coated and stuff, which is hard, it's kind of hard to fill up the one side. But if it gets too hard, like too covered in color, I just flip it over and then I just use the other side. And yeah, I'll send you a link in a second. And then like I said, it comes with 2 in a pack. And it's so nice. And it wasn't even expensive. I think it was like $8 or something. Don't let me lie. It might be closer to 10. But it's so nifty and so handy. I love this thing. And I guess it's like technically a knockoff of a product that used to be popular in the beauty community called like the Color Oops or something. But they don't make it anymore. Maybe that brand is not around anymore or something, but it is so good. It is so good. There's not a special product on it. Like when you want to clean it, you just clean it with soap and water. It's so nice. Let me find it real quick. And then, cause it's very, very nifty. What am I looking for? Shopping, Amazon. Yeah. I mean, I'll be here. What is it? Color removal. Yeah. There we go. Oh, listen, I was exaggerating the price. It is only $6. What a nice, love that price. That is beautiful price. Okay, hold on. Where is I feel like I'm geriatric sometimes when I do some of this stuff. Where is the sharing link? There you go, get link. All right, copy. Oh, and I remember I have to send that to you individually because I guess YouTube, you cannot share the link via there. Actually, I think I have Instagram on my computer right now. I just want to do this while it's on my mind. All right, awesome. But yeah, you should definitely pick one of those up because helpful. It's very, very helpful. Back to what I was doing. Oh yes, we were getting into the crease. I'd originally picked up, I love this palette. I don't know if she's gonna make them again, but you can, girl, this is dirty. This is crusty. But I do love this palette a lot because it's just all new. Okay, but also you can tell that I love my palette. It's all neutrals. And I did originally go into this shade because usually I'll do like a warm, but I think I actually want to do like a cooler, maybe. Like that shade. Like that shade. I'm thinking the brain is working. Okay, where's my mirror? Oh, this also, if you ever get a mirror from what is this brand? Impressions, they are on there. Like, why is that so? Like, I gotta put force to pull that thing apart. It's crazy. Okay. Now I'm gonna do this. And this is the part where you do have to be neat about it. You do have to be kind of clean about it because this is the dark color. It is much easier to mess up with the light color and then cover it up with the dark color. You can't really take a dark color and try to cover it up. It's not as easy. You're gonna have to wipe things off. So be careful. But I'm basically just going to follow my blue shade. I'm making sure my brush is pointing the right way. And follow the blue shade to get that.
just build on top of the shell that I've already started. And to be able to see. Brush. Blending that out. Also put some purple layer, different brush for that though. So with this one, wait, actually, I want to do green. the smaller.
Okay, does that sound better? I know yesterday when I was streaming my Switch, oh, only when I'm speaking it sounds distorted and staticky. Okay. Oh, awesome. All right, not touching it. You're not touching it then. Hey, welcome to the chat. You're doing makeup today. Um, good. Good to know this all sounds way better. What I was saying earlier that you might have missed is I'll probably be doing the underpainting today because I do want to do full cake face. I do want to do sculpting and everything, and underpainting is definitely something I can do a full face with, and show that to you. So I hope you're having a great day, midnight. Let's put some glitter on. I'm going to try my darndest. Oh, that's the other thing, Nightwolf, is these nails. You know, I want these nails gone. They're going on week 2. And I'm like, why did I put this on so well? And I guess I could try to take them off, but also, I'm sticking it out. Why are they on week 2? I need them to not. I need them to start popping off. I need them to be weak. Okay? Be weaker. I'm glad you stopped by, even though you should be doing other things. But I'm glad that you stopped by. I really appreciate it. There are people also doing yard work here, so hopefully that isn't the worst noise. Hopefully. But I am going to try and do this with just my fingers, which is usually my preferred method for putting on glitter so that I don't have to do like a full... I feel like when you put it on with a brush, it usually ends up so thick, which is great if you want full glitter eyelid. But I really want more of like a shimmery look as opposed to like a full glitter look. And that's just... there's no better way to do it than with your finger. Oh, I know. They should know when I'm going live and then do other things. It's very rude. So rude of them. Wait. Wait. Sanding paper from... I mean, Honestly, I guess I can't be mad at that as long as it's working. I do just use the buffers that come in the nails. Like when you buy the nails and they usually come with that stupid little nail buffer that snaps in half very easily. I do just use that. So, which I'm sure the grit on that is insane. So, maybe you're on to something. But it really is the buffing. It seriously is the buffing. You have to buff your nails or else it's not going to stay. It's just it's kind of giving me the same vibe as I remember how shocked I was when a queen I was working with told me that she used wig glue for her eyelashes, and I was like, I was like, that's intense. That's crazy. You can't just use lash glue like everybody else. Um, but if it works for you, baby. But I was a little shook when she said wig glue for her lashes. I was like, do you have actual lashes at this point? Have they not all fallen out? Um, so maybe you're onto something with this. Maybe we should all be going to Home Depot. Maybe. Listen, I was worried. I was really concerned because here I was with just my Ardell thinking, this is really pretty. I don't know that, no, the camera is not doing it justice, which I'm not surprised by. But this is a really pretty glitter. Um, the way I'm going to want to take pictures later, I don't know how I'm going to be able to capture it because it's really giving mermaid. But I just feel like it's not even being captured the right way. Also, this is very hard for me to do with my finger. I might just cheat and do it with the brush. All right? I might This is not working for me. Not cheat, but do exactly what I didn't want to do and do it with a brush because this is not going the way I want it to. That's crazy though. Honestly though, were you there when everybody was roasting me? Or rather, I thought people were crazy when they told me they were all doing their makeup standing up. And I was like, why are you guys doing that? Sit down. I don't know that I could do my makeup standing up. And then I realized I guess most people are doing their makeup standing up because they're in the bathroom doing their makeup. But even if I could, I would sit down on the floor. Like I don't know. I'm a little perplexed by the you have to stand up. It was they have to stand up to do their makeup. Not even just like they just do their makeup standing up. They have to stand up. And I'm like, that's crazy. This is a little dirty, but it's fine. It's a little weird silicone brush that you can use to like me trying to the girls asked me to flip my camera so that it looks right for y'all, but it feels all backwards for me. So it is a struggle and a half for me to make sure that anything I'm doing is in frame, okay? And I try my darndest, but it's not easy here. Also, I was doing really well with doing my makeup on stream until just now I realized I forgot to do my eyeliner first. So now I'm going to have to put eyeliner on top of glitter, which is disgusting, but I did a pretty good job so far cuz usually my makeup on stream turns out trash cuz I can't focus on everything all at once. I have to clean my face off in a second when I go to do my base, but you know what it is? This is very pretty. The glitter. it just because you can't, maybe you could see some of the green. I feel like the green's an important part of it. So I think I'm going to go ahead and mix some green glitter in with this blue. Did I decide what pair of heels I'm getting yet? Nah. No. I am slowly being de-influenced from the sparkle ones that I was highly considering. And it's only because I've read some reviews where people are complaining about the glitter coming off in chunks. And I know I can fix that if I just hairspray it or put a layer of acrylic glue, clear acrylic glue on top. But I don't know if I want to work that hard for my shoes, you know? So now I'm thinking maybe I will just go with... Everybody really liked the pink glitter ones. And they're pretty cute. I think, though, there's a part of me that would prefer the metallic-y looking ones almost. So I don't know. As you can tell, I'm having a lot of thoughts about this. And none of them are concrete, you know? Which is why I haven't bought anything yet. I gotta decide which green I'm gonna do. Because, like, that looks so pretty in the pot. I don't know how to show you that. But that looks... Girl... There we go. So pretty in the pot. But I think it needs more green mixed into it to make it look the way that I really want it to look. So I am going to... Ooh, that's not really green at all. Never mind, just kidding. Not that one. Hopefully this one is. I'll show you my mixture in a second if it turns out good. If it turns out bad, I'm not showing you because that's embarrassing for me. But if it turns out good. You know, I don't really know that it did too much because these glitters are so big. I think they're just burying the green glitters. So I don't really know that it's doing... Ooh, wait. But that reflect... Ooh, the reflector... the reflection of it or whatever. That's pretty. Let's see. It just wants to focus on my hands. But... it didn't do very much. It did not do very much. So... I don't know. We might just be sticking with this glitter. That sucks. My look is crumbling in my hands. The look I wanted is just... I'm going to put it in a separate vessel. And then we're just going to work 2 different glitter pots. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But yeah, I think I'm going to end up going with one of the metallic heels over the glitter pink. The glitter pink are cute. It's just, if they ended up just looking like pink heels, like, I'd be pretty bummed about it. So the metallic-y ones, they look like they'll have a little bit more pizzazz, a little bit more going for them. So... Okay. So I did just put more glue on. We are going to go in with this green. Do you know how bummed I'm going to be if this looks trash? This also might be too dark for what I want. This might be one of those looks where we just talk about it on camera and you don't see me in person, you know? one of those, we take pictures of it and it looks fine. I think I definitely wanted more of that green. That's the bummer part. That's the thing I'm upset about, all right? I wanted more green glitter in this, and I'm not getting it. So I'm trying to create the illusion of it, and it's also still not really working, but it's fine. It looks great on camera, though. So, and that's my fear. It'll just look pink, and like, I'm a little bit too... I need a little bit more than just a pink heel, you know? Because I love pink, but my pinks gotta be, they gotta have a little pizzazz to them. All right. I gotta take a break from that. I'll walk away from that for a second. All right. Let's. Oh, I can't clean anything in here because I don't have a sink. I'm gonna have to go and grab something anyway at some point, but. But I'm also not in a rush, you know, to get shoes. I don't feel like I need shoes tomorrow. I just want something, a little extra something to add to my practice. All right. Let's just do the other eye. Let's just get it done and over with. Let's just wham bam, thank you ma'am. And then we can move on to, because the eye's not really going to come together, because I'm going to do the underneath too. I'm just going to really bring that eye up. Once that's good. I did re-bleach my eyebrows today. That's the other reason why I wanted to do makeup, because when it's a fresh bleach day, I did see a picture of somebody, though, with no eyebrows on because they freshly shaved theirs. And I think it did also make me go, maybe I do need to keep my eyebrows on. Maybe it's fine that they're bleached, but I should just keep them on just in case. If I ever want a way out of this, I could just dye them dark. I'm not saying it would look great, but I could just dye them dark. If I shave them off, it is kind of the point of no return until they come back. And then brow stubble? What is that? What is that experience like? Because that sounds terrible to me. Or itchy brow? Oh, yeah. Everything about the brows coming back sounds terrible to me. Like right now I have bleach brows, so it's kind of like, oh, it's cute. She has bleach brows. But if I took them fully off, I think that would be a level of unhinged that maybe I don't need to hit. At least not yet. Not yet. Maybe in a few years, but not yet. Ooh. Everything is sticking to me. Oh, Nightwolf, did you ever did your green work? I know you found a green, but did your green work for your show? Did you have your show yet that you were going to? Where's my... Oh my god. I thought I was about to knock my little glitter pans over and be stuck with glitter in this room for the rest of eternity. Not that that's the worst curse, but, you know, not trying to condemn myself to that life. Yeah, I asked if your green that you wanted for your show, if that worked out for you. What was it? About Face, I think was the brand. Getting glitter all over my black dress. Yeah, I get that. I get that for sure. That's actually, I even said that in my smoky eye video. I said, this should be an easy look now that I broke it down. But also, don't wait to try this look the day of the event. Don't do that. Because why would you punish yourself like that? That's a great way to stress yourself out. If you're going to follow a tutorial, follow it the night before, follow it a few days before, and then once you know what's happening, then go ahead and do the look the day of. Do not. I 100% get that. There's so many times I've done a makeup look like the day of, and then it turns out utter trash. And like, I'm so mad about it. Why would I do that to myself? But like, this glitter. Now I know what this glitter looks like, so the next time I go into it, I won't be as shocked that it's just blue giant chunks and not very green like I thought it would be. But imagine if I'd waited till the day of. I would have been so bummed. I would have been so upset. You know what? Now that I've mixed it and I'm like seeing it, I'm a little less mad about it. It's taken a lot of digging for me to get to the small glitters in this big glitter pot, but ugh, okay. I need to move this glitter out of my way. I already had an idea to do a glittery red cat eye look for a video as well. Thank you. I think. Oh, I used to do graphic liners all the time, actually. Many years ago. You should totally do a graphic. It's the way I'm gonna have to get up from here and go into a completely different room. Like, no, you're good. You're good with the typos. I'm pretty sure all the platforms love the comments. They're like, the more comments, the better. So honestly, yeah, keep going with your typos and try to correct them. You're only helping me in the algorithm. It's the fact that I'm gonna have to walk out of this room though and like grab a washcloth. I did not think this properly through, but it is what it is. This is actually going to be, not for you, but for me, the most grotesque part is putting glitter or putting eyeliner on over glitter. I would literally never in a million years condone this kind of behavior. I would tell you, put your eyeliner on first and then put your glitter on. And if you need help making sure you don't get glitter on the liner, just make sure you use a flat brush to do all of it. But alas, I have to make at least one mistake while I'm streaming, while doing my makeup. Fingers crossed this is the only mistake I make, but I have to make at least one mistake, and it's gonna be the crusty eyeliner we're gonna have to endure for the rest of the stream, but it's fine. And obviously I'm not talking because I'm putting eyeliner on, so I'm in hyper focus mode putting this on. But you know, you send messages and then I'll respond to them in a second. You know what I do realize though? This is mistake number 2. Now my eyeliner is going to be too thick because I dared to talk while doing it. Ugh. All right, anyway. My dog just crept into the doorway. I was like, who's there? But I think I might actually start to look for an actual eyeliner that I like instead of just settling for an eyeliner that's cheap. This eyeliner is fine. There's nothing really wrong with it. I just know that I could be using something better and more of a matte black. I don't know that this would be considered a matte black. It's probably more of like a satin black. And it's the e.l.f. eyeliner, which I also have heard people have like weird allergic reactions to. I haven't, but I have heard other people have allergic reactions to it. Which, imagine my surprise when I found out I was allergic to the House Labs foundation. That was my bummer of the makeup century. I can't wear the foundation that I thought was so freaking beautiful. And I've never been allergic to makeup like that before. Yeah. And like, I know that there's levels to eyeliners. I just never considered it before, honestly. This looks fine on camera, but I will tell you, it would have been much better had I been able to do my eyeliner first and then did the glitter second. I keep forgetting you can't see this side of my face. So everything I'm doing here is just completely nothing to you, but it's fine. That's so when I film my tutorials, I have to turn all of my chair over this way and then face this way and not get distracted looking at the monitor. And it's hard because I see opposite everything. But I can't remember to do that while I'm streaming because I'm actually trying to do my makeup while I stream. Oh, you know what I need to figure out? If the YouTube algorithm is pushing me now that I got the 1K. So I got my 1K subscribers or whatever on YouTube, which is great, awesome. I'm so happy. It took me 12 years to do it, but we are here, boys. But now I'm inching closer and closer to 1,500, which just feels insane because it took me 12 years to get the 1,000. So what do you mean in like less than a week, I'm going to get half of that? Like, what do you mean? And that's great. I'm not complaining. I'm just curious about if that's a genuine response to my content or if that's an algorithmic push. They make you work really, really hard for that first 1,000. And then after that, they're like, okay, so this person's like legitimate. Now we can push them in the algorithm. I just wonder if there's like a algorithmic push happening behind that, you know? And thank you. I was pretty excited. I think pretty excited would be an understatement, actually. I was just geeking and like staring at my phone in utter glee. It could be. And I mean, I'm not really. Yeah. Yeah. And it's not even like I'm over 1K. It's like I'm getting like over 1K. And like I'm excited. I'm just also like, I wonder. I'm curious about how that's all working out, you know, how that's all playing out. I just want to know a little bit about what's going on behind the scenes there, you know? Grateful, just also want to be a little educated there. And just want to know what's up. So then also if somebody asks like, oh, what did you do to get that 1K? I can tell them the truth is that like, honestly, don't take my advice. I just really was committed to the bit for 12 years. But also I could say, if you can just hold out for that 1K, the algorithm will just push you. Like, I would like to know what I can say if somebody asks, you know? And not because I don't think I deserve the views or whatever, but because, you know, it is kind of nice to just know what's going on. But I also recently had somebody, I was just scrolling on my TikTok, minding my own little business, you know, looking for dog videos to pop up. And somebody had posted a video that were like alternative and romantic YouTubers you need to follow or something like that. Something along those lines. And I was like, huh, okay. I'm just like curious, you know. So I did a little scroll as you do. And I was in it. I wasn't tagged. So I organically came across this video or this post that had me in it. And they had just put me in it, not even like to get my attention or whatever, because like I said, I wasn't tagged. And so then I also wonder how much that is playing a part in it, and if I really need to be getting better about being on TikTok, because I'm really not on there very well. And if I need to get better about being on TikTok so that I could have more opportunities like that. I feel like I'm everywhere though. I'm on Twitch, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Threads, I'm technically on TikTok. Like, I feel like I'm freaking everywhere all at once. Which is hard, especially since I feel like I'm way more of a photographer than I am like a video creator. I just did my typical eyeliner shape on this eye when it should have been my drag eyeliner shape, which is slightly different. But it was very cool to see myself with other alternative people, you know? I think sometimes people don't really get my alternative because it's not like I'm like skull and crossbones, you know? I'm not like rocking an upside down cross and stuff like that. And I never will. I'm also not with the blood and all of that. That's not really my vibe. So sometimes I worry that, or not worry, sometimes I know I'm just like not being seen because people just don't really get it. But and reels are enjoy your food. And thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit. I hope to see you again soon. Chat with you soon. Reading. Here you go. I love photography so much. No matter how many reels I do, I just can't get into them like that. Yeah. Yeah. I think, I'm trying to think if I've really, every single time I do a reel, I feel like I'm just like dancing for the man. It doesn't ever feel natural for me. You know what does feel natural? If I'm sitting and blabbing my mouth, if I'm just talking, that I can do. But I don't know how to make that interesting without feeling like I'm also trying to like dance for the man. Because then you have to do things like you need a hook. You need something that attracts people in the first 5 seconds. And then you got to give them points that they can follow along to and how that's going to inspire their lives. Like there's a whole rubric, a whole outline to it. And I can't get into it. Like it just not who I am at all. I am a tangenter. And I think that's probably also why I like streaming so much is because I can just talk and talk and talk. And I mean, I guess you could just not look at it if you don't want to listen to me talk that much. But like, I will get to my point at some point, you know? But you want me to get to my point as fast as possible. You also want me to talk as fast as possible. And I think I'm already, unless I'm thinking while I'm talking, I think I'm already a pretty faster talker. The English right there. But I don't know. I just like can't get myself. And then like doing an outfit post, I don't know what to do. Like I literally will just like turn on the camera and then I'm like, not that you can see my whole body there, but you know what I mean? Like I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just let me take my pictures and then be done with it, you know? I'm definitely much more of a picture person. And you can post pictures on TikTok. And I've had portraits go on there really, really well. But then here's the thing. The portraits that do really well on there, I always have to make it in a way that like, I have to put like a video in front of it that's like, I took self-portraits. This is how they turned out. And I'm like, no, because now it's like in a video, so you can't like really take in a photo. You can't really take in the art of it. You have to like, you're just watching it in a reel. I actually want to take down both of my outfit reels. Every single time I post a reel, I'm like, I want to take this down so bad. All of them. It's not because I look bad. It's because why am I posting this as a reel? This could be a photo, okay? Why am I twirling around in a reel? I hate this. I don't want to do it. I hate it here, but also I love it here at the same time. I'm just very, very adverse to following the rules, okay? I hate a rule. I hate you gotta do this. I hate it all. All right, I got this far. Really the thing that's delaying me at this point is the fact I gotta get up and I gotta go get a washcloth and I gotta go wash the glitter off of my face. That's what's keeping me right now. But we did get this far. I will say this. Yeah, this eye, the eyeliner is not exactly where it needs to be because I got a little tripped up there and I did my typical eyeliner, which is pretty straight, when I meant to do my, but I can fix that. It's very easily fixed. But yeah, I just feel like I'm like dancing. For who? And then, honestly, the other thing that tripped me up is music selection and, like, sound selection, because then you gotta decide, do I pick a trending sound, which is some teeny bopper music I don't listen to, or do I pick one of the ones that are, like quotes or whatever? They're just like, okay, so today I just wanted to show you my outfit. Thank you. And you just pick one of those sounds, or when it could be your own voice saying the same exact thing. It's like literally a whole sentence. You could say that yourself. Or do you pick your own music, which suits your own vibe, and then risk it not being pushed in the algorithm? And I know the algorithm isn't everything, but also if you're doing this, the algorithm does in some way control you. You know, like it sounds terrible to say, but it's just the truth. If you're doing this for a living, the algorithm does somewhat. You do have to submit somewhat to the algorithm, right? And my favorite trick is I do it more on TikTok. Is sometimes I'll just let it, whatever the first sound it picks for me, I'll just let it do it. And I don't even listen. I don't even have my sound on. Most of the time, on my apps, I don't have the sound on. So if it picks for me the world's most saddest song, and it just and it's a video of me smiling and looking at me, I just say, TikTok said that they go together, and that's beyond me. I don't always listen to the sound before I pick them. I just let them do their thing. Quite frankly, I don't care that much. As long as I don't have to hear it. If I have to hear it, then I get really trapped in it. And I love that for you. I love that you are not submitting. I love that you refuse. I wish that I could say the same. I go back and forth. Sometimes I do my own thing, and then sometimes I'm like, well, kicks rock. I guess daddy algorithm says I gotta do something here the right way. So here I go. And then I just don't listen. I don't listen to it. There's a good few months where I did not listen to my own sounds. I just let it do its thing. And you're right. Music is a big part of your page. I listen to the same 3 playlists over and over and over again. So when I do pick my music, it's usually all the same songs. Because that's also just how I listen to music. Is I just listen to the same things over and over again. And that's it. Like I'm not really much of a, I like music. It's not really that. It's just more or less like I know what I like the sound of. And if I can't find something that sounds like that, or it's going to take a lot of effort for me to find something that sounds like that, I would rather use my effort in other places, personally. So I get that 100%. I just also, there are also sometimes when I do like a little trendy song. Like, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I do be listening to that Sabrina Carpenter. It took me a second to think about her last name. Sometimes I do be listening to her because she be fun. Sabrina Carpenter, she's that one that makes that Me Espresso song. She's definitely one of the pop girlies, one of the popular pop girlies. We have talked about her before because I think we were talking about when everybody was upset about her album cover, and I was like, these people would not have lasted a day on Tumblr back in the day. There's no way. If they think Sabrina's album cover is terrible, Lana Del Rey, who they allegedly still worship, like, oh, what is it that wanting to listen to same? I think it's because I heard that is it your dopamine is the highest when you're a teenager, which makes a lot of sense because of all the emotions that you have back then. And so the music that you listened to back then is heavily associated with high levels of dopamine. And so you just continue, you associate that music with good times, nostalgic times. And so you tend to go back to that music that you listened to back in that point in your life. And so now we can still enjoy music. It's just not going to be the same euphoric feeling that we had back when we were younger and listening to music. Which I think, even if it's not a chemical thing, I think that does make sense. As far as where it's placed in your mind, yeah, that was not a prime time of our lives. That's not what I'm going to say there. But it is a very heightened emotion part of your life. And I can see that heightened emotion really playing an impact in the music that we listened to back then, and then them being kind of paired together. But even, so like I listen to Cigarettes After Sex a lot. And obviously I did not find that band when I was young. So I think, but it reminds me of the music that I listened to when I was young. Because it reminded me, honestly, Lana Del Rey was a big portion of, not, well, yeah, I guess my late teen, because I was 18, 19, 20, 21, around that point, which for me, that was like my free era. I was in college. I was the heightened part of my life. I would not say it was high school. It was definitely early college years. So yeah, I guess that would make sense. And listening to the same albums all the time. Yeah, I do have to sometimes remind myself there's other music out there. And then I'll try, because I guess Spotify makes those like new music that's come out and like new artists to check out, playlist or whatever. And I'll try, but I just can't get into it. I'm like, ugh. Just give me what I know. Just give me what I am so used to. I don't want to hear anything new. Even if you think I might like it, I don't want to hear it. I want to hear what I actually like, not what you think I'm going to like. But yeah, I guess in hindsight, it does make a lot of sense. I also have like, there's certain artists I kind of have an aversion to liking anyway, just because, I don't know. I guess that weird innate hipster side of me, it just like, I can't get into them. I can't get into them. Can't do it. They're too big. They're too popular. I can't do it. I said that in the same breath I said I like Sabrina Carpenter. So I don't know. I don't know how stuck to my guns I am on that, but yeah. You know, it is what it is. It does make sense though when I think about it. Let me pull up my, because now I'm really thinking about this Spotify thing and the music I listen to. Yeah, Lana Del Rey, obviously. Bright Eyes, Angus and Julia Stone. These are all early, these are songs I was burning onto my MP3 player. There's some new stuff, but it all sounds like the stuff I used to listen to back then. Yeah. Yeah. I hate to be a quitter, but I am contemplating like this being the final look. Listen, I want to be better about this. I want to not quit in the middle of things, but I also just have to listen to my heart. Sometimes you have to listen to your heart and know where the end is. And I know not everybody is into human design, but as a manifesting generator, okay, my true calling in life is to just do what I feel compelled to do. And I feel compelled to say, you know what, maybe there isn't a finish to this. I just really needed to try out this blue glitter and see what it gave. And it's not giving exactly what I want it to give. It is good. It is good. It's not giving exactly what I want it to give. And I'm going to have to mix things to try and make the perfect blue oceanic glitter. It does look pretty on camera, though. I will give it that. It's just in real life, it doesn't look the same. It just doesn't give the same in real life. Yeah. You know what I do need to do, though? Just to try it. Hold on. Oh, my gosh. I'm pretty sure my scooting around in this chair all the time is not good for it. I do want to. So some of my liquid eyeliner got into my eye, which is fine. I do want to. Do the bottom half of my eye, just for shits and giggles, just to see. I need my blue. I'm also hungry. I'm slightly distracted because I'm hungry and I smell dinner. I don't know if it's done yet, but I smell it. And I'm hungry. We're having rice and beans. okay? And once dinner is involved, I don't know, man. I'm clocking out. I'm just taking that blue and that I used in my crease, and I'm putting that in the lower part of my eye. This is my other trick that I gave for a smoky eye. Because everybody gets that, like, raccoon eyes, and it's because they put black shadow on the bottom half of their eye. And you don't have to do that. You don't, just do your crease shade, which should not be black anyway. For me, it's typically brown. And it still creates the illusion of a smoky eye. It's not black, which is a very hard color for most people to blend out properly. It's a very hard color to work with. But I'm taking the blue, and then I'm also going to take this green, because that's what I would have done if I'd done my full face. And I basically just used that black eyeliner to create depth, to create shadow, which is the way black should only be used. It should not be used as an actual color on your eye. I firmly believe in that. I do not think you should be using black as an actual eyeshadow color. It should only be used for contouring. Because I don't think most people know how to use the color black. Yeah. I thought you said, so what's true? Yeah, so true about the brown eyeshadow. I don't think this would have eaten though. This would have been a look. I just don't think that most people understand that, like, okay, so this palette, for instance, it is really a shame if she doesn't make this palette again. But I love this palette because it has all of these colors. Obviously, I love this palette. There's so many pans. But this black. I don't even think this is a real true black. But I would never use this black as like my actual eyeshadow color. That's crazy work. I would most likely use either this color, which I have, or even this color. And I will say on camera they are a little bit more saturated than they are in real life, but this is like more of like a cool brown shade. And then this is definitely still a warmer brown. And when I'm doing just like one eyeshadow, I'm doing a smoky eye, because I'll do that very often too, especially when I just want to have like a quick eye look because I'm just trying to get out of the house and I'm just putting one shade on my eye. This is the shade that I will be using. But black? That's crazy. And I'm black. And I'm saying that's crazy. That's way too dark. Nobody needs to be using black like that. That is crazy. Unless, what's that girl that we saw up in the VMAs? Abs. Taylor Momsen. Monson. I don't know. But unless you're here or you're her, maybe go off, sis. But I do not think most people need to be using actual black as their eyeshadow shade. That's crazy work to me. That's why you'd be walking around like a raccoon and wondering, my smoky eyes never turn out good. Babes, because you're using black. Stop doing that. Use black as a liner. Use black as a shadow. Do not use black as your actual eyeshadow. And honestly, that's what the girls on TikTok need to be showing. Because I don't watch a lot of TikTok makeup tutorials because I don't like ingesting information like that anyway. If I want to know how to do something, I would much rather find a video for it, like a full-length video. But the girlies on there just be doing stuff and not telling people, like, hey, so if you're going to do a black eyeshadow look, you need to just be packing it on instead of pulling it on. They're not telling you how to do anything. And I think it's because most of them are not actual makeup artists. And I say that as somebody who's not an actual makeup artist. I'm very aware of the fact that I'm not an actual makeup artist. So there are things that I know work for me that may not work for most people because I don't understand how I don't have the schooling to understand most people situation when it comes to like color payoff and formulations and all of that. That's why you go to school, so that you can learn how to do that. All I can show you as somebody that's not a makeup artist is, number one, what works for me. Number two, what may work for you if you want to try something. And then the things that I have picked up, honestly, from being a drag queen. Like doing the pool test to figure out if this is like a warm tone black or a cool tone black, or if it's even really a black. All I can do is just give you some little thing or relay information that I've already learned from makeup artists, which I definitely do a lot because I do watch, I did come from Jackie Aina schooling, all right? I have taken her look. I have drank her tea, figured out her formula, and made it work for me, babes, okay? But I do think most of the people online are not makeup artists. It doesn't mean they don't know how to do makeup. It doesn't mean that they can't teach you anything. It's just, I don't think that they know to even teach why certain things work and don't work because they're not makeup artists. They don't know because they've never been in a classroom setting where somebody was like, hey, so why does this primer work on this person and doesn't work on this person? They don't know to even answer questions like that because they've never been in a setting like that. So just, be careful about the people that you're following online. If they teach you to do a smoky eye with black eyeshadow, though, run. Okay? That person does not care about you, okay? Because I would literally never. That is the work of the devil in my book, okay? I'm slowly but surely doing the rest of my makeup, actually. Now I've decided I like the makeup look, and we may actually just continue on. Where's my mascara? Actually, do I want to do mascara right now? That's like really locking it in. If I put mascara on, well, I don't know. I guess I have eyeliner in my waterline, so I'm already, and I'm wearing glitter. So I'm already really devoted to washing my face at this point. So let's just go in with it. I do have to get more mascara. This is officially so gunky and thick that it's not working. I do like an older mascara. Like a mascara that has a little bit of time to get thick and is not so thin. But this is starting to get a little ridiculous. I'm not going to lie. It might be time to switch her up for something else. And I guess I could have a preference for mascara. I could actually put effort into finding a good mascara. But I wear lashes. So I don't think that is going to be my journey. Eyeliner, I think I will take time to find an eyeliner that's like a matte black. And is also not super expensive because I'll be damned. But mascara, I don't know if you could really make me go, yeah, I'm going to pay $30 for mascara. Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds reasonable. I don't think you can get me to pay $30 for eyeliner, even if it was matte black, actually. I don't think you could get me to do that. All right. We are going to go in and do our face. I can't believe this. Can't believe I'm having a change of heart. But alas, here we are. Face. Make sure my dog isn't behind me. Yeah, it just, is it worth it? Is it worth it? There's some things that I just don't feel like, okay, but the Kat Von D, I've never used it, but I've seen it, and it is very beautiful. It's such a shame that she ended up being a terrible person, because that brand, okay, if she could have still been associated with that brand and then like had a revival now, do you know how big that would have been? How much the girlies, the way they're eating up Y2K, and I know she's not really Y2K, but you know how they're trying to reheat our nacho. They're trying to do what we did in our late teens, early 20s, and all of that. Can you imagine how big her brand would be right now? Boys. We're having a conniption. I think maybe somebody took a package to my house. But her brand would be huge right now if she decided to revive it again. But because she's her, she can't do that. She can't. And I don't think, what did they rename it? KVD? I don't think that they, as a brand, can come back. I just don't. I think they tried to, especially with that rebrand, and I just don't think they can, unfortunately. She really just did a number on the whole name. Okay. Okay. I have products in front of me. Is it the right products? I actually can't even tell you right now, but we'll see in a second. I have a lot of stuff in front of me though. I would give you a dust cam, but we don't have that. So, normally, would never condone putting product directly onto your face. If you've seen me do my makeup before, you know we are not putting makeup directly onto our faces because it'll crease. It'll not look as good. I'm about to skip 3,000 steps actually. This is why doing my base on stream is always kind of dicey. First, setting spray. That's what I needed to do. Because you want your makeup to last, it starts with the base, babes. Starts with your base. If your base is messed up, your makeup is only going to get worse, okay? We have that. I am, because this is supposed to be a little bit more of a drag look, I am going to take some of the glitter glue primer and I'm going to put that on my smile lines, and that actually helps prevent creasing. And I mean, you could just make sure that you're not using a thick amount of product, and that will also prevent creasing. But when it comes to doing something a little bit more drag inspired, you need the cake. You need the cake face. You want your makeup to last, which is why matte is usually the way to go. This is just the NYX Glitter Glue Primer. It's made for glitter, and I'm just using that on, I told you this is me trying to get that. That's exactly what I'm using. The same exact primer I used to put the glitter on my lids. I also need powder. I know you said this is your worst nightmare, putting powder on your face first, but I have to. So I'm going to put my powder on my face. Nice layer. Just gonna try and trap most of that oil. Before it gets to the, I look ghostly. Maybe I need a summer shade. What is, not, it's gonna get covered. So it's not the end of days, but like, oh, wait. I did not realize that I was looking like that. And then I am gonna go in with my One Size setting spray to really make sure there's a nice layer between my face and the makeup. All right. Let me slow down for a second so we don't make any mistake. Make sure that I am right on what I need to go in with. Yeah, okay. Now, product doesn't go directly on your face unless you are a drag queen. So, I'm going to that's not perfectly centered, but that's fine. And things might seem a little light, a little bright, but that's okay because I do want my makeup to be quite exaggerated. This is not an everyday look. I do some pretty crazy looks and consider them an everyday look. This is 100% not an everyday look, okay? But I'm gonna put this on my face so that it can get a chance to get nice and thick. This Hourglass concealer is a very fast dryer though, so I'm gonna be a little aware of that fact. But underpainting is basically just the process of doing your contour and your highlight first, and then you're going to put some of your foundation to kind of fill in the gaps. Or if you really do like a super bright, like if you go even brighter with your concealer, your highlight concealer than I am, then you can use your foundation on top, like a sheer foundation, not a full matte or a full coverage foundation. You can do a sheer foundation on top, and that'll kind of blend everything together, melt it all together, make it look very cohesive and nice. I need my other contour. But in theory, if you do it the right way, you will actually end up using less foundation than you would otherwise. Does that really matter to me personally? No. But it does matter to some people that they're using less makeup, I guess. Save you money, I suppose, but I don't want to do that down there just yet because I do need to. Yeah. I figured if you, and Jackie Aina does it a lot too, and you said you watch her, so I figure if you watch anybody do makeup, you probably have seen it before, you just didn't know that you were watching it. I'm going to real quick, and because I want this the most amount of coverage, I am just gonna go directly onto my face. And this concealer is nice because it has a little bit of an orange undertone to it compared to my skin, which means it's going to cover up those blue tones in my hyperpigmentation. That's why I picked it out. It's like my skin. It's very close to my skin tone. But if I were to wear it as a full foundation, it would be way too orange. But for my hyperpigmentation, it is perfect. And that is one of the reasons why I use it. I use it whether I'm doing drag makeup or not. And I'm just going to let that sit for a quick second to get nice and thick. And then I'm going to start with the color correcting concealer. And then at some point, not yet, I'll move on to my actual concealer here. But I want the middle of my face to be super duper bright. So then when I put my contour shades on, it will get even crazier. We'll have some real difference there. I did see somebody on my TikTok feed too, who's like a drag burlesque artist. And I was like, wait, could I be a drag burlesque artist instead of just like a burlesque artist? That would be kind of fun. Me imagining going back on the stage and having not done it yet, but I have dreams. I have hopes. One day. I just gotta figure out my money situation first. You gotta get some money in first. And I have too many hobbies right now for that. I gotta narrow something down. This stuff has started to get a little bit more automated before I can throw another hobby on top of it. But at some point, I will be back on the stage. That should be good enough. And I just want the max amount of coverage I could possibly get from my color correcting concealer. And if this ever does get a little bit too dry, you can spray some of your setting spray onto your brush, and that should help moisten things up a little bit. My mirror is a little far away from me, so I can't exactly see, but she looked good in the monitor, so I'm going to say she looked good in real life, too. We're just going to go with that. Now this, like I said, this... Ooh, wait. I do have to... Give me 1 second. I have to go wet my beauty blender. 2 seconds. All right. I love a brush. Love a makeup brush. This is the best time to use a spun. This is 100% the best time to use a spun. Because also when you wet your beauty blender, I did not realize this, but you don't want this to be soaking wet. You want to get this very like wet all the way through so that it grows in size, and then you can get that bounce. But you don't want to be able to like squeeze it and then water still comes out of it. You don't want that on your face. Don't do that. Because I never knew how wet you want the beauty blender to be. You don't need it to be sopping wet. In fact, you really don't need it to be wet at all. You really just needed it to grow and get soft. That was the whole point of wetting it. And so that your product doesn't get soaked into it. But a little bit of product is going to do that anyway. That's just how sponges work. A little hair on my face. But I'm going to blend that in. That did make my chin look very crimson, but it's fine. It'll be fine. I haven't put my contour everywhere that I need to. But I'm really just trying to blend this out. I would let this sit more, but this Hourglass concealer just dries so fast. And if I don't move at the right point, I will have little dots on my face. And I could wet my face or wet my sponge with my setting spray. Okay, you have a great night. Yeah, I appreciate you for hanging out here. Love when you keep me company. But yeah, what was I saying about my sponge? Oh, the Hourglass concealer dries very, very quickly. So normally, I will let my concealer stay on my face. I will let my concealer stay on my face for like 30 minutes. Most amount of color payoff as I can get. But not with the Hourglass. Not with that one. That one just seriously dries so fast. And it does look a little scary right now. I promise it won't. I promise if you give me a second, it's gonna look a little less haunting. It's gonna give a little less Casper, I promise. I just really want my highlight tones to be very, very highlighty. This is not an everyday. Please allow me to reiterate that this is not an everyday look. And I am taking this. If I had known that I was going to go this crazy on the stream, I would have brought like a damn washcloth with me, and I would have honestly cleaned that up with my washcloth. But because I did not think that far in advance, I am using my sponge to do this. And it is going to muddle your colors a little bit, and that's just the price I'm going to have to pay for this. But, you know, it is what it is. But normally I would have fixed this before we even got to this point. Okay. Okay. This look right now. And I'm gonna go back and forth with my sponge and my brush to kind of blend those two shades in. I still have a foundation to put on top. So please also keep that in mind. I really just don't want anybody to think, oh, this girl is actually crazy. She thinks that she is rocking the look right now. I'm very aware, okay? Very aware of what I look like right now. All right? I'm very aware that this is not a shade match, okay? I see this. I see it. I acknowledge it. I know what's happening. I promise it'll be fine. Yeah. Oh, but I love that. I love that I can be keeping somebody company while they're like working, editing. Honestly, that's what I imagined I would be here for. Like a TV program where you just put it on in the background. Oh, so you're back. You got your food. I hope you're eating well. The look today is, I wanted to play around with the blue eyeshadow, so I think once we're done, it's gonna very much give like a disco-esque kind of look in the end. But like I said, we gotta trust the process because right now I'm giving Casper, right now I'm giving, you know, I look like I don't know what my race is, and I promise I do. I promise. I promise I am aware that I'm a beautiful black woman. But there's a method to the madness. Pizza stuffed. That's so good. I had pizza recently, actually. That's so good. Yeah, we know. We know what's up. But all of this is just a crazy, crazy little process. Thank you. I will say the glitter that I ended up using, I wanted this glitter specifically, but it was also my first time using this glitter. And once it finally got on my face, I was like, maybe this wasn't the exact shade I was looking for, but it's fine. We made it work. It's just not exactly what I was going for, you know? Which is a bummer sometimes, but we make it work. Just feel like I can't help but laugh because it just I look absolutely insane. uh, but here we are. Here we are. Thank you. That's like I said. Hopefully we'll get there. Hopefully we'll truly be giving a disco siren. We'll get there. We just gotta weather this terrible storm right now. Putting my arms to work, blending in product. I will say, I don't know that the Fenty contour sticks are the best for like doing drag makeup, but because they're beautiful because they blend out really well, but they're not exactly the best for, like, I need payoff. I need actual color payoff, and they're not exactly the best for that all the time, but it's fine. It's what I have, and sometimes you just gotta make do with what you got. And that will always be my motto. I will always say that, which is also why when people are like, oh, but I want the same product as you, or like, I can't do that because I don't have this product, I'm like, where's your sense of imagination, babes? Where's your sense of wonder? Where's your sense of curiosity? Your sense of play? You can figure things out, right? Like, you don't need to have the exact same product. Remember back when, like, celebrities, we would look in a magazine and a celebrity would have an outfit on, and obviously you didn't own that Dolce & Gabbana, whatever, but you still figured out ways to create looks similar out of the things that you owned, and it wasn't going to be the same exact look. That's not the point. It was going to be that look inspired with your essence in it because that's what you already own in your closet. But like now everybody just wants a direct link to everything. Everybody wants the exact same product. And I just don't, I'm like, no, you don't have to do that though. That's a waste of your money because now you're just buying a product for a specific look. And sometimes, yes, sometimes you do want to do that, but most of the time you don't need to be doing that with most things. You can do inspired by. And that's just as acceptable, you know? That's why everybody looks the same because nobody knows how to do an inspired by anything. Everybody wants to do an exact replica, an exact copy. And then, actually, I remember like going to school, and if I ever did have the same piece as like my friend, because we were all shopping at Limited Too, um, it always looked a little bit different anyway because we were all styling things a little bit differently. So even if you have the same piece as somebody, maybe they just showed you a new way to wear it or whatever, but usually you were still all wearing things differently, so it didn't even really look like you all have the same clothes. Even though we were all still shopping, because it's not like, I mean, you could call and order things from like QVC, you know, like a home shopping network or something, but it definitely wasn't as common to buy things online. And so we were all shopping from the same 5 stores, but because we all understood inspiration, we all had curiosity, we all had the love of play, it meant that we were all doing things differently anyway. I don't know. Maybe that's a weird rant to have right now, but I just miss the age of curiosity. I miss the age of play. I miss the age of like messing things up. And then that's okay that you messed up a look. It's okay that things didn't turn out exactly as you thought they would because you understand that it is just play. It's not that serious. So now I'm taking a foundation that is actually my skin tone, and I'm kind of just blending in my products so that they look a little bit more like my skin, and less like I'm trying to cosplay somebody with the bleaching problem. And I know you get it. I know you would be somebody who would for sure get it. Because I see you with your fashions and all of that, and I also see your pieces that you create. And I could only imagine when you're sending something out to somebody, you don't know exactly how they're going to style things. You don't know exactly how everybody's going to wear, but three people could have the same pair of sunglasses, but it'll look completely different on all three of them because they're more interested in the play of the sunglasses rather than just like, okay, so how do you think I should style these sunglasses? How are all the girlies styling these sunglasses? Like, your brand is about play. Your brand is about vibing. Your brand is all about experimentation in that way. It's not about, I'm going to show you exactly how to dress. I'm going to use the 70s, even though I know that only plays a small part of your brand. But you're not going to show people how to dress in the 70s and then, like, that's it. That's the only way. You're only permitted to wear this piece if you dress 70s inspired. Like, that's not. No. 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 And I've noticed that because even the names that you choose for your pieces, they are all playful names. They're not very serious. They're not very. Your brand is serious. Your business is serious. But actually, your brand isn't serious. Your business is serious. But it's all about the play of it. And I don't know. I understand why the kids are afraid of play because, God, I would be too. If I grew up and, like, my mom was posting me on the internet as an infant, calling me ugly or something, I would be scared to play around with my looks too. But that's why nobody has personal style. That's why everybody has no swag, okay? And you shouldn't do tutorials. You should not do tutorials. Like, no. It doesn't make any sense. Because you should be able to go and play. You should be able to just figure that out. And then if you don't know, that's what the magazines were for, or the Pinterest, that's our new magazine, or even the Instagram. You can go and look at somebody and go, they're wearing, big oversized glasses as well. And maybe it's not the same exact brand as the oversized glasses that I'm wearing, but they are wearing them in a way that I like. How can I kind of copy that without going and buying the exact same products? I already own oversized glasses. I don't need to buy the exact pair that they have. Like, to me, I'm like, the wheels, are they turning at all? But then I also have to remember that, like I said, these people grew up with just eyes on them constantly. They grew up with just the forever threat of being embarrassed. You have grown adults beefing with kids about their prom outfits and be like, I look better at my prom. Babe, that was also 15 years ago. Grow up. Get over it. And people don't know what they like anymore because people are more concerned with, like, what did somebody ask me? This is a while ago, but somebody had asked me before about hobbies that are, like, dark feminine or something. And I honestly thought that I was having a seizure reading it. I was like, what does that even mean? Dark feminine hobbies? What does that mean? What does that mean? Like, are you asking me if I have hobbies? What does the dark feminine aspect have to do with any of that? Like, I'm so confused. But everything that everybody does has to do with an aesthetic. Everything has to be a part of, like, 70s hobbies make sense, I guess, in a way, because there were hobbies that were specific for that time. But, like, I don't know. I come on. Like, I don't understand. Yeah. And everybody's having a constant identity crisis because people just don't know. People don't know. People don't read anymore. People don't critically look at media anymore. Like, even I'm not much of a movie watcher, but I know that there are movie aesthetics that have always inspired me, such as like the vampire stuff, you know? But just because I enjoy the vampire stuff doesn't also mean I don't enjoy the cutesy stuff. My whole desk setup is pink. And that goes against my aesthetic, I guess, for all intents purposes. But the keyword there is my aesthetic, right? It's my aesthetic. And my aesthetic is cutesy. Sometimes it is vampiric. Sometimes it is goth. Sometimes it is pinup. Sometimes it is vintage. It's my aesthetic. If I was doing something specifically like, oh, I'm doing a specific dark feminine aesthetic or something, I don't know why that's the one on top of my mind right now, but if I was doing something that was specifically a dark feminine aesthetic, then maybe I wouldn't include so much of my peppy, bright pinkiness in it. But if we're talking about me as a person who does exist offline, right? That's the other thing. I think people forget that there's a difference between the version of you that you put online. The version of you online doesn't exactly have to be the version of you in real life. And it's okay. It doesn't make you fake. It doesn't make you phony. It doesn't make you... Somebody will see me in the grocery store in a bright pink ass hoodie. That's it. Like, you know? And that's crazy. Number one, because grills have always been around. They've always been around. To act like that's just like a modern thing is wild. But I do know what you're talking about, though, because I did have a brand at one point ask me if I could take out my micro braids for a post. They were a vintage brand. And they did not like my micro braids because they were like, well, you know, we try to keep up with a certain nice aesthetic. And I was like, I'm going to ignore the microaggressions of it all. I understand maybe what you're trying to say here, but also don't agree with it. I worked with that brand once and never again. And that was because, girl, sometimes you just need to check. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes you just need to check. But I've never spoke about that brand on my page after I worked with them. Best believe. But there is a reason why I really value, I value anybody that sticks true to whatever feels right for them, but I really value when Black women do it, mostly because we are so often booted out of spaces. The vintage space, I can speak both on the vintage and the goth spaces. If you are Black and you're not willing to, in like the vintage spaces, wear straight hair and not like, have like a less kinky style. Like this, me in a 1950s look with this hair, the girlies would chew me up and spit me out. They would hate that. They would not want me there. But to act like Black people did not have afros in the 50s would be wild. Maybe it was not as commonly worn out, but why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? It's not that they didn't have afros. Why do you think they weren't wearing their afros out, babes? Like, because of y'all. But it's these niche communities. I mean, it's everywhere, but it's especially in these niche communities that you really start to see the racism of it all, and you just go, I don't even know what to do here. And that's what I was trying to get at earlier, was we exist outside of social media. We're not just like people on your computer screen. So when you see us out, or even if you see us online doing something that may be deemed outside of the aesthetic, it's because humans are multifaceted beings. This is something I long battled with, and it wasn't until recently that I decided to just say fuck it all, and I try not to curse on the stream. That was my bad. But I just said screw it, because so long I could not get myself niche down, which is a huge problem, especially when I was already niche. When you're Black, you're already niche. But then I wasn't Black in like a clean girl way, whereas they have less opportunities than their white peers, but they still have opportunities because they are the clean girl aesthetic. They're that white beige aesthetic. And we know that that's the most marketable aesthetic you can have as a person online. But then when you really start to get into like the niche stuff of like the vintage and the pinups and the goth of it all, but then you add being black on top of that. But then imagine you're somebody who doesn't want to fit into any of those boxes because you like playing in all of those boxes. Which made getting brand deals really, really freaking hard because people were like, well, you're goth one day and then you're pinup the next and then you're vintage the next, and we just don't really know what to do with you. And I recently decided to just say screw it, and you could just suck my big toe. Because why do I have to, all of these aspects of me make up me. All of them are an important part of me, you know? Also, I have the sneaking part of me that's just like, this isn't even really all that important. I mean, I love being online, but if we're really talking about my clothes here, this is not the most important part of anything that I'm doing. I love that I love to look good, but that's literally like the smallest facet of what I'm doing here anyway. Why are we really talking about this? But thank you. I mean, I take that. I'm learning to accept my flowers. That's the part, because I almost wanted to refute you there, but I'm learning to kind of accept my flowers because, God, it's 12 years. Yeah, I think at some point I'm allowed to say thank you and allow myself to have that, you know? But I'm like, it doesn't, and that's consistently through it all, I've had the same audience. The same people have followed me for years. Granted, it's hard because I don't grow as much because, you know, if you're a niche, it is definitely easier to grow. If you can niche down, babe, it's a little bit of advice, niche down. If you can do it, do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I've talked about it before, but, you know, I'm adverse to following the rules, adverse to following a man, especially if I think he's white. All right? Like, can't do it. But, and you deserve your flowers too. You work really hard. But what was I saying? I was saying, yeah, regardless, my audience has been small but mighty. Very, very small but very mighty and very supportive. And I know everybody's. Like, I know everybody's usernames and stuff. I don't necessarily follow everyone back because I don't believe in that. But if you comment on my post, I probably know your username, or I might even know your real name at that point because my audience has been with me for so long. They've seen so many iterations of me. They've seen me, you know, when I first came out. They've seen me when I, you know, was working my adult work job. Like, they've seen me when I was transitioning out of that. They've seen me, you know, fall back into it. They've seen me through every facet of everything. And then they've stuck with it. Stuck with me, not it, stuck with me and supported me and commented and sent encouraging kind words on my birthday. Will say happy birthday. Like, stuck with me through and through. If anything, my audience is loyal, you know? And I think it's crazy to act like because I don't want to niche down that I suddenly have less value. I think that it's absolutely absurd because I don't want to just dress in black only, or I don't want to dress in, you know, the old folk clothes only, or I don't want to dress, you know, like Marilyn Monroe only. I think it's absurd to act like I don't have value because of that. And I think I have more value because I've decided to embrace all aspects of myself, because that's really what this journey is all about. That is what I come online to share about. Not necessarily my clothes, but the fact that I never felt seen. So here is me making myself be seen. And in that, I hope that you see yourself and then allow yourself to be seen. And that's the whole point. It's not really about the clothes. The clothes are great. The makeup is great. But it's not really about all that, you know? And yes, the loyalty really is all that matters at the end of the day, you know? And I was talking to my friend Elle about it, and like, it's definitely delusional for me to stick with something that pays me back spit. Okay? I will get offered $25 brand deals. Okay? It is absolutely insane that I've decided to stick with something like this for so long. It is crazy of me. All right? I should not have done that. Still doing it. But I do believe in the power of one, and I do believe in the power of like one person will resonate with this, right? And then they're going to talk to somebody else about it, whether that's about me or something that they felt. They're going to share that with somebody else, and then that person's going to then be exposed to me, and then somebody else is going to share that, and then it's just going to be a never-ending, just revolving door of just because of one. I don't have to reach a lot of people. I don't care about that. As long as I reach you, as long as I reach one person, I think I did exactly what I needed to do. And that's crazy and delusional, and that's fine, but also that's the thing that keeps me going. That is the thing that allows me to continue living in this delusion, And yes, just a mirror. I love that. I think I saw somebody say that, like, the beauty you see in me is reflected in you or something like that. I 100% believe and stand by that. And that is the only thing that really keeps me going, because it's definitely not money. It's definitely not. I ain't get cash flow like that. When people are like, hey, will you try out this product? I'm about to start sending people receipts and be like, hey, you want me to try this product? You could pay for it because I am not, And that's when I was talking to Nightwolf about it. We were talking about TikToks and Reels. And I was like, yeah, people want me, when you make a TikTok or a Reel or whatever, you have to like do a hook. And then you got to talk for under a certain amount of time. And you got to talk fast enough. And you got to give bullet points and everything. And you can't get lost in a tangent. And I said, but my specialty, which is probably why I'm thriving, or at least doing better as a streamer than I ever could do in a short video, is the fact that I give a tangent. All right, my point will come. You will someday see my point. All right, we'll make it back around to the point. But you gotta let me get my little rant in first. And yes, it ain't the funds. All right, you gotta start. I'm not. No. I wish I was making a little more money, but I actually do believe, though, that I'm on the come up. and I feel I have to embrace that aspect of myself, because I know I still feel awkward being like, no, I think actually, like, this is the rise. The rise of Anjali, if that's even appropriate to say. I really do feel like this is happening right now. Because it's very wild to see, like, oh, wait. But I also feel very old while it's happening. It's kind of, I hate to talk about this person because I know everybody has very polarizing views on her, but if you know who Trisha Paytas is, she is a little bit older than me, right? She's got to be 37, 38 years old. And she says, finally, now everybody likes her and she's getting, like, acknowledgement and everything. And I feel, but she feels very, very old at the same time. And I feel very much that way. I'm like, okay, this is clearly like, I'm getting a little bit of notice and things are going really well for me. And I'm actually seeing the reaping of all the work that I put in 12 years after the fact, but it's happening. But also I feel very, very old at the same time. Like when I go, when I go to an influencer event, because it will happen, who am I going to talk to? I'm going to be surrounded by a bunch of 22, 23-year-olds. Who am I going to talk to? What am I going to do there? Hands in my pocket? What am I going to do? Like, really? And I'm going to go because I want to go. I want to be a part of the club. But also, no, what am I going to do there? I'm a little old for all this. But also, hashtag blessed. Hashtag happy to be here. I'm not even paying attention to what I'm doing with my face at this point. Now I'm just playing around, just doing things. I don't even know why I just did that. I did not need to do that, but here we are. I also mentioned, notoriously, my makeup is always the worst when I stream it, and that's because I get so caught up in just doing everything else that I'm not paying attention to the art of my makeup. I'm paying attention to, well, you. I'm paying attention to whatever's going on in the chat. You know what? I'm gonna take that. Season and 10 being the magical number, yeah. I'm gonna take that. I will 100% embrace that. I don't feel old. I should clarify. I don't ever feel old. Very much still feel... I feel the same age, just wiser, you know? I feel like I have more knowledge than I ever had when I was younger, but I still relatively feel the same age as I always have. I just also know, put me in a room with a bunch of 20-year-olds and I probably won't feel that same way. I probably will feel a little differently, but, you know, it is definitely different to feel young when you're hanging out by yourself for majority of the time. Mentally preparing myself for the setting spray. Just remembered something I wanted to do that I forgot to do. Yeah, and I'm okay with that. You know, the kids are going to be in for a welcome surprise when they go, oh, you know, I thought that the peak of my life was 23 years old, 24 years old. And really, especially as a woman, we only get better, all right? I'm much better now than I ever was as a youngster. You could not pay me to be 23 again. Enjoy that. Enjoy that time of your life. It is very fun. There's definitely a sense of fun that exists at that age that does not exist when you're older because you just have more knowledge of what's going on around you. So a more inherent sense of responsibility, but also could not pay me to be that young again. Unless I could keep the same brain. Then maybe. Got a glitter in my eye. I just can't. I do look very, very... Yeah. Yeah, well, it is weird because I think because I'm very drag presenting, people know better than to call me ma'am. I think. Because I hate to say it, but in real life, I do run around looking like a drag queen. That is just kind of my whole essence. So they know I'm one of the girls. And for that reason, they do try to key with me. And it is interesting to see. I will say that is interesting to see. It is interesting to see the youth interact with somebody who is my age, who they perceive as my age, versus, it's not that I think necessarily they think I'm younger, it's just because I look like a queen, they treat me a little bit differently. And it is very interesting to watch it happen. And that's who I thought I would look like. If you had asked me many, many years ago, that's what I honestly thought I would look like. But no, I love what I look like. But I'm definitely giving more. But that's who I thought I would be. Because that's who I wanted to be. But my siblings will have babies for me. No. They can do whatever they want with their lives, but I did think I would be a cool aunt. And when we were kids and we'd talk about it, and I said, I will be the aunt. I will be the rich aunt. And you will tell your kids, she's coming to get you. And they will tell their friends, I don't know what she does, but she always picks me up in a boat. Like, yeah, I don't get... Miss Parker is pretty cute. That is pretty cute. I do like that. That is pretty cute. Um, I think ma'am would make me feel old though. Miss isn't that bad. Ma'am would probably. I'd probably stop that. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I would stop it. I'd be like, don't call me that. But I also understand. I live in the South, and I guess that's other. And you live in the South too, so maybe that's just like a normal. In Pennsylvania, where I'm from, everybody just be saying miss and stuff. Nobody's saying ma'am. We don't got no Southern manners like that. I guess also when I think about it, I'm very rarely in situations like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Asking ages, I freaked one girl out because I was at an event and she's trying to, she's trying to holler or whatever. And I wasn't really having it that much, but I was like, if you're going to try and talk to me, I need to know how old you are. So I said it, and I didn't mean to say it as abrasively as I did, but I was like, can I see your ID? And I just straight up, like, you're not going to catch me here. We're the police. I got to go. And she was of age. Of age, according to my book, okay? She was actually older than me, which says a lot. But also, she was, I don't know, she's probably like 5'1", all right? And anybody that's like 5'2" and below, 5'3" and below is going to look like a child to me, being that I am nearly 6 feet tall. That's just kind of the name of the game. But I card people, I ask people all the time their ages now because I'm like, I'm not getting trapped. I'm not. You will not catch me in these situations. All right? Because you really are. Being 30, you really are in that weird age range where it's like, are you young or are you old but look very, very young? Mostly because you're probably tiny. I have this glitter in my eye. It's a very weird in-between ground. And I think if I was shorter, I probably would be perceived younger, but because I'm so tall. It's exactly like that. You will not catch me. Uh-uh. 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 I'll so often be like, that's a very beautiful young lady. And somebody will be like, oh, no, she's like 40. And I'll be like, oh, no, then she's hot. I'll just change my mind. But I will start off being respectful first because I don't know who y'all are. I don't know your ages. I don't know who you are. And I will not be getting in trouble. That's for sure. But I definitely like it this side of 30 for sure. Way better here. Way better here. Even though I have to card people now, it is definitely way better here than it ever will be in my 20s. I kind of want to go heavy with the blush. I mean, heavier than I already am. I'm going to take it up. Yeah. Yeah. Just gotta do a little check first, Make sure that we're not doing anything truly sinister. And I think that's fair. I think that's okay. I think that's responsible. I also, though, I'm realizing I think I have like a friend cutoff too, though, as far as ages are concerned. I mean, I think I probably would have anyway at any age, but I'm really like, I don't want to be friends with really, really young people because I don't want to be in a situation where I'm like looking around and I'm all of a sudden everybody around me is 22, 23 years old. And I'm going, wait, I'm too old to be at this party. But I love to party. I love being out in the night. So it is a very interesting, tricky balance of like, okay, who can come out that's my age? Because everybody have babies and stuff. And then who's close to my age that I can hang out with. I'm smelling that dinner. We're having red beans and rice tonight. I'm smelling that dinner. And I want it in my belly. And my tummy's starting to get growly. But I am proud of what I've accomplished so far. This brush is not clean. It is pretty nice to have. That's not what I meant to do. Pretty nice to have other avenues of like content creation. That means I don't have to. I was supposed to make a video. It's supposed to be out today, and I said I don't feel like doing that. I'm just gonna go on live and hang out instead. And it is nice to have that option. Friendships are different in the 30s. Yeah, it's definitely, and like I want to dance in the club too. Like I want to have a fun time. And inherently, you're going to be around young people because that's just kind of the vibe, right? But it's a balancing act of understanding like also if I am gonna befriend some younger people, they gotta stay at the club. They can't. We're not making like close personal relationships where I'm unloading actual adult stuff on them. And then, I mean, I guess if they want to unload their weird kid stuff on me, I guess. But boundaries, you know? I just got foundation in my hair. Oh, this is so difficult with the with the flip camera. But also, DIY highlights? Hold on. Don't do this with your real hair. This is my half wig, so I don't know. Wait. DIY highlights? Wait. Wait. Can we use foundation to make highlights in our hair? Hold on. Wait. I think I just figured something out. Now I'm just gonna, the rest of the stream, I'm gonna have this random piece of hair here. But, it's kind of cute. Does it look crusty in real life? Hold on, where is it? I don't think it looks bad. What a way. Okay. Okay. Gonna have to log that mentally for later. I'm trying to decide how much more of my makeup I really want to do. I've gone much further than I thought I was going to do. This is truly a feat. Am I dressing for Halloween? I will tell you, if you asked me a month ago, I would tell you that I had a full plan to do Glamoween for Halloween and for October, and I had looks, and I still do have looks planned. I just have to get ahead of it, or else it's not going to happen. Actual Halloween, I do have a huge plan for myself. It's just whether or not I'm going to be committed enough to do it. Kind of the same vibe, actually. Every year, if somebody invites me out, I own enough to just whip up a random vampire costume. That's been my go-to for years. I can do it. I already have teeth. Like, it's literally the easiest thing for me to do. And I have won costume contests last minute with my vampire costume because it's just something I inherently have in my closet. This year, I told myself I'm going to break out of that box and actually do a Halloween costume that's not just being a vampire, since that's my natural state. Am I actually going to do it, though? Is the real question. I would like to do it. And then I have to figure out how exactly I want to document that moment, because I think if I'm going to do it, I would like to document it because I think people would ask, much like right now, people would ask. And that means I have to decide if I'm going to do it twice. And I'm not very good at doing the same look twice. Or if I just do it the day of and stress myself all day until I can go out at night in my Halloween costume. I don't know. I'm not saying with my Halloween. I know. I'm also not saying what my costume is because I think I said I was only going to tell on the Patreon. That's the other thing. I will say that. So if you're waiting to hear what my costume is, I'm not sharing that yet. So... But it's also a managing expectation thing, right? Because if I say what my Halloween costume is, then people are gonna expect to see that Halloween costume. And like, what if I don't want to do it? What if I change my mind? So I'm just managing expectations here, you know? But all anyone knows, I'm gonna be a vampire this year, as I am every year. But I could not be. I very well could not be. If things go the way that I want them to go, I'll be making my wig on the stream. If things go the way that I want them to go, the way I intend them to go, I'll actually be making my wig on the stream. I will say that much. Because I do have to make a wig for this look. All right? Like... I know. At some point, everybody will know. Everybody will know what my costume is. Just not yet. Oh, you know what? Actually, I have my glitters here. Not that this is... Yeah, I do have the right colors. And I'm also going full drag. If everything goes the way that it's supposed to go, it will be a full drag look, too. Different from this look, but full drag. Okay? Me deciding if I'm going to commit to the rest of this look or if I'm going to stop and eat some red beans. You know? Thank you. Thank you. I would really appreciate it if you would respect my privacy at this point in time. While me and my family work on this together. Okay? That's my official statement. All right? Now I'm just thinking thoughts. I really do... grabbing everything but the piece. I really do. Oh, you know what though? It does feel a little gummy. I mean, obviously because it's foundation in my hair, but it does feel a little gummy for sure. But I do think it's cute. And you could probably just wash it out with a little bit of oil or something. I mean, obviously with shampoo too, but I'm glad that you got something out of this. You know, I don't always think it's the best time to like learn makeup from me unless you have a specific question. But I think if you want to like have conversation, yeah. I'm glad that you laughed with me and everything. That does make me happy. These are the things that make me happy, for sure. Even though I definitely distracted you from your editing. So, that's not great. Not trying to get in the way of your bag, But I think I'm gonna wash my face and eat, you know? I already ate, but now I'm gonna eat food, Um, you know what I needed? This is just, where is it? I need some yellow up here. To kind of, sometimes you just gotta play, right? Sometimes you just gotta, me saying I'm gonna wash my face off and go eat, but then actually just, I will, all right? Don't worry about me. I'm not somebody who forgets food. I think you should try glitter. Glitter is only intimidating because I think people think you have to do like a special look with it. You can just do it. Like you can just put it on your lid and you don't have to do a bunch of stuff. Just get a glitter that is similar to your tone. The one that I was wearing that you said that you liked, this is Aphrodite from Glam Goth Beauty, and it is a white. Girl, focus. Thank you. It is a white, but you don't have to get that full white look as long as you don't put white underneath it. Just put like your brown eyeshadow, whatever you wear when you're doing eyeshadow, but you don't want it to look like you're wearing eyeshadow. Just put that underneath it and then put like a little white on top. It doesn't have to be anything super complicated. Like obviously there's this, but then, there's not this. I've worn glitter as like a normal everyday look before. And I think that you should try it. It's messy. So if you don't ever want to see glitter, if you only want to see glitter that one time and never again in your life, don't try glitter. Don't do it. Because you will have glitter in your booty crack somehow, okay? But as long as you are willing to accept that risk, try glitter. And actually, even if loose glitter is intimidating, try pressed glitter. You can do something like, this palette is way out of commission, all right? But it is full of a bunch of shimmers. And at first, you put it on your finger, and it's not doing much, right? It's like maybe like it's kind of sheer, whatever. But if you want more from that, you could either spray it with a little setting spray and then get into the palette, or you can take your glitter primer. I have one from NYX that's like maybe $7 or something like that. Put that on your hand first, or your eye. You'll be putting it on your eye. Put it on your eye. Then once it gets tacky, you go back in with that same exact shade and then press that on, and that's going to give you even more color payoff. So then you have that more of a color payoff, than you would if you just went straight in. And that's just how you can build your shimmers up in a way that maybe feels a little bit more approachable than going in with a loose glitter. And the product I mentioned earlier, I gotta remember to show products, but the product I mentioned earlier is this, and it's like $6 or $7 there we go. And this will last a long time because you only need a little bit. You don't need a lot. A little goes a long way with this. And that's a more approachable way to do it. Yeah. That would be my advice there, for sure. I'm scared to put my hand down. I have glitter on the back of my hands, on my fingers. I'm a little scared. You know, but yeah. I hope though that you experiment with it because you would definitely a yellow glitter of some sort would be very, very cute on you. Definitely a yellow. Maybe even an orange. Yeah. I just think of you in like sunshiny colors. I know you wear other colors too, but I definitely associate you with sunshine and like, oh, so you could do even a purple, which would be like a very, sunset kind of vibe. You could definitely do a purple shimmer as well. And it would look very, very pretty on you with all your sunshiny goodness. Um, Now I'm trying to imagine your rage. Kind of like I don't know if you know Hello Kitty characters, but there's this one character who is supposed to be at work or whatever, and they go from like I'll send you a picture. It's this character that goes from like really really mad or really really happy to really really mad, um, and now I'm just trying to envision your rage, and I just because you're just so sunny, you're so you don't need rage though. I mean, sometimes you do, but you don't need to be mad right now. Anyway, I'm gonna go eat. We did this. We did that. We talked about things. We had a little laugh here, little kiki. I'm not coming back on today though. Maybe tomorrow. I'll come back on. Today I'm gonna sit and do nothing but eat red beans and rice. All right. But I really do appreciate you for keeping me company and for talking in the chat. Uh, oh, yeah, that's right. You are a Gemini. That's right. Definitely is there. Ooh, okay. That's right. Not ooh in like a fun way, but also kind of in a fun way. But and for those of you who just watched and instead of chatted, I also appreciate you for being here too. And I hope next time you feel brave enough to just say a little hey. You'll see, I don't bite. I just like to giggle and laugh and talk my shit, you know? But not about you. Unless you do something truly nefarious in the chat. I'll probably just boot you. But until next time, I do appreciate you for being here. I don't even know how to click out of things because my hands are truly covered in glitter and glue. All right? This is a problem. And I gotta clean up my whole desk because there's a bunch of blue eyeshadow everywhere. Messy time. I'm a Virgo. I gotta clean this. But I will see you all very, 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 very soon.